talking. Pay attention to TrashTalkingRadio.com every Tuesday night. If you don't, this is Zach's Demolition. We'll come to your house and kick your stinking door down.
Hey, this is the Queen of Extreme Francine, and when I'm lonely, I listen to Mike Trash from 7 to 10 p.m. on Trash Talking Radio.
The following program contains scenes and language of a frank and explicit nature. Viewer discretion is advised.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, live now.
The mouth of the South giving like the world's greatest wrestling manager, but this ain't so myself. Hey, you gotta check out Trash Talking Radio. Even
Ricky Morton of Rock and Roll Express. And if you want to know everything about professional wrestling, listen to Trash Talking Radio every Tuesday night from 7 to 10.
It's Trash Talking Radio Tuesday night. It's the best night of the week, and for some reason, I'm not even hearing me. Now I am. Okay, there we go. Ugh. I hate when these things happen, and I don't even know if I'm, I see, oh good, I see some people here in the chat room. That's where I was checking to see if I had it working right, and by the looks of things, it is working correctly. So, strap yourself in, and let's rock and roll and do what we gotta do, and, okay, now I lost sound in one of my earphones. Oh, you did?
Yep.
Oh, then I probably did something over here.
You choke me.
Well, I want to do that at times. I want to do that, but
wait a minute.
Not tonight.
Why? Why do you? I'm being good for once.
Yeah, for once. Anyway.
I'm not the one that dropped the mouse.
Neither did I.
Uh-huh.
I dropped my trackball.
Yeah, that too.
Anyway, I guess I can push one of these. Which one is it? This one? This one. There we go. All right. I pushed all kinds of weird buttons and things are opening up that aren't supposed to be opening up. All right.
Wait a minute. You
What?
pushed buttons? You don't like it when I push buttons.
You shouldn't push buttons.
Well, then you shouldn't either.
The avalanche is coming at you. All right. Now, let's get things rolling here. Let's see if we got all the streams where they're supposed to be, and hopefully, yep, the mix is going. Facebook is going. Twitter is going, and Periscope's going, and YouTube is going.
Yay!
So, it looks like we're fairly successful for the moment. Hopefully it'll stay that way. You just try it, buddy.
No.
Anyway, where do we want to start? Oh, I got to find my notes. That's what it was. I knew there was something I did. There it is. Okay. All right. Got everything loaded up and ready to go. And right before the show, I was reading on different things I can do with this software. And I may take that leap of faith and do something next week to show that I have learned something. So,
let's hope so.
Yeah, I'd like to figure out how to use the fullest extent of this stuff because it's really quite amazing.
As long as you make it warm in here.
It's got to stay cold.
Not that cold.
It's got to be colder. That's why it's all over you. It's barely touching my chair. It's touching yours because the avalanche is coming your way. Anyway, all right. Let's see where we're at here. This week we had a really terrible snafu on the movie front. So my producer,
Sparky,
when he was writing the show, made a major mistake on this week's show. And what happened was, all right, I gotta figure this out here.
I think it's time for a new producer.
All right. So what happened was last week we voted on Greta and Tyler Perry's Medea but they don't open till this week. Last week, Fighting with My Family was the one that came out, along with Alita, I believe.
Yes.
And along with Is It Romantic and Happy Death Day. So, everything's screwed up from last week to this week. So this week we're going to somehow figure out, I guess we're just going to have to do it again. We have 3 movies: Greta, Tyler Perry, and Fighting with My Family was last week, not this week. I hate when that happens, because it just made me look horrible. And
Wait a minute, you're the producer?
No, it made me look horrible that I went and said this stuff was going to happen, and it didn't. So,
J Money.
yeah, so we're just going to basically forget about last week's movies because it was all wrong. And we're going to have Greta and Tyler Perry to choose from for the top 2. And we'll talk about... Oh, wait, didn't I... Oh, that's why I didn't copy it, because it was screwed up. I better copy it just to show what's going on. Let's see, this is going to go down here. There we go. Got those. And so we got 2. I think I'm going to leave my numbers where I had them. You can leave them at the same numbers you had them at, but change to 1 and 2 instead of 2 and 3.
Okay.
If you want.
Oh, no. Because I think you and I both have... No, we have the numbers reversed. Okay.
Well, you don't, though. You had 2, so that would be 1, and this would be 2.
Yeah, but see, you have 1 at 25 million, so that would put... If
Right.
I changed it...
Well, if you want to change it, you can change
No,
it.
just leave it just like that.
Well, I can't leave it like that because you have 1 at 20 million or
Oh.
2 at 25 million. I got to either change the one or the other.
Well, see, I can't have Medea at 25 million as number 1 if you have it.
You can. It just cancels each other out.
No, because they're both... Well, okay, then do it that way.
All right. And then we'll come down to here, and we need to make this work. There'll be a copy there, and we'll put it here. I thought I did this last night, but I didn't. So my 1, 2, and 3 here is still going to be... Well, there's one change. I want this to be here. All right.
Did you see who else is in?
No.
J Money.
What's he doing in there? Well, there he is. I didn't see him.
That's because you're too busy, like, screwing with the movies.
Now, for you, do you want to change your top 3 for this week? Or for next week?
No.
Okay. All right. So, the first movie is Greta. That's the one that we were talking about last week that was a little creepy because the woman ends up taking and trying to trick you into being her best friend. And that was a little creepy. But, you know, creepier things have happened. So, okay. Here we go. Let's see. Switch over. Uh-oh, what's going on here? There we go. So the key to this is this woman sets these purses in places that people find them, and then they return them to her, and then she becomes their biggest pain in the butt and becomes their best friend. Why are you laughing?
Because J Money said that woman's not going to trick him.
Well, that's good, I guess. That's what you learn at the Hard Knocks, Fort Knox. So here she has all these purses with all these names and stuff.
Did you find them?
I guess she's been planting bags around the city. I was hoping someone brings them back to her. And you did. Oh my God, it's her. Just let it ring. I saw the bags, Greta. And I never want to see you again. She's really freaking me out.
It would freak me out, too.
Public area, her rights are protected.
Why are you doing this?
How exciting.
Hi, I'm Frances, and I'll be your waitress for the evening. No, I can't do this. Are you a child?
No, you're the child. You need a mother to hold you.
Don't you dare talk to me about my mother.
She had to die for us to me.
Are you out of your mind?
Look at her.
She's only making it worse for herself when she gets home.
Everyone needs a friend. But we're more than friends.
Then she drugs him,
Connected.
kills him.
There's something you need to know about Greta.
Are you insane?
Where'd you get the cool drugs, though?
Black market?
Just try to get rid of Greta.
It's going to be a freaky movie.
They should put that kind of stuff out for Halloween.
Well, that's really what I expected, but that doesn't seem to be the case. So, yeah, kind of interesting that they're doing that with the what?
Jane Money said she got it from the dark web.
Yeah. I traced the dark web. It goes right back to his house.
Ooh.
So, anyway, here we go. And then the other one is the Medea. That one's pretty strange. So that's the one called A Medea Family Funeral. Here we go. Hopefully.
Hey everybody, Tyler Perry here.
Nope, that's not it.
New trailer from a movie. Tyler Perry's A Medea Family Funeral. You get to see it right here. You don't have to wait too long to see this one. It's in theaters March 1st, 2019. Hallelujah! Hey, check it out, y'all. Check it out. Hallelujah!
I feel like I'm in church now.
That's the point. You got it.
The Bible say, yea, though she walked in the valley with the shadow of Little Red Riding Hood and the three bears, she feared no evil, because the three little pigs was not around.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
How you doing, baby?
I'm okay.
Well, you looks bad.
We here because your dad is dead. Now me coordinating the funeral. I hope y'all can appreciate what I'm going to try to do.
And if you need anything, just let us know.
I know it's about funerals. I done buried a lot of men. A lot of them.
That funeral's gonna be messed up.
Are you ready for a miracle?
You're about to get shocked. This is the church. If you come up here with that bull, I don't mind busting you in your face, so asking Jesus to forgive me.
Oh my God.
I'm a real thug. I'm an OG MADEA.
Are you ready for a miracle?
We're sorry. Apparently he was taking some sort of stimulant. We're having some trouble keeping it down.
I want to know if he's an organ donor.
It's so stupid, yet it'll do well. I mean, his movies do okay, and I think they're usually moderately funny, but it's really stupid humor, and you know, I like the stuff he puts out usually. So I'll probably end up going to see it.
I like the fact where he says, is he an organ donor? I guess he took one too many pills that he wasn't supposed to.
Huh.
Either that, or if it's been longer than 4 hours, he should be on his way to the emergency room.
considering he was in a casket, I don't think that's really a necessary thing. All right, so that's what we got, and we ended up picking. I picked Tyler Perry as the first, Greta as second, and Fighting with My Family as third. You picked. Did you switch them?
No, I thought I left him.
You put Greta as 2. Okay. And you picked Tyler Perry as 1, I guess. Yeah. And then... Well, wait a minute. You had Fighting with My Family as first.
Is that the big 3 from last week?
Yeah. So you... Alita... And
see, you really messed this up. I mean, you're
no, you just have to pick the third, your third one. What's your third one going to be?
Well, then I'm going to really switch this and say Greta's third and Fighting with My Family is second. If that's the top 3.
You know what? I didn't have How to Train Your Dragon either.
True.
So that could be in the ballpark too. If you got to throw that in there. That's the other one I missed. I knew it was another one I missed. How to Train Your Dragon.
We should ask Jay Money, because he's there. I wonder if Fort Knox, if they train dragons up there. I mean, they're How to Train Your Dragon, send them to Fort Knox.
I don't know you.
Oh, I thought you did.
That's all we need is to start something up between... No,
don't worry. Rob won't hurt you.
Heard that before. Okay,
just remember, I know where he lives, too.
There. Okay. So I want to change my numbers around a little bit. I'm going to change it to How to Train Your Dragon as 1. Tyler Perry will be number 2. And Greta will be number 3. That's what I'm doing. That's what it's going to be.
No, I don't think so.
All right. Well, you still have to pick your number 3. You still haven't picked your number 3. You don't have to pick your number 3 because then I'm guaranteed to win.
I thought I did because I said...
No, you picked your number 2 there, and you need to pick a 3
and I
yet.
said I was going to change... I was going to say Greta was 3 and Fighting with My Family is 2.
Well, I want to tell you, Fighting with My Family did 8 million last week.
Yeah.
You think it's really going to do more than...
All right, then put Fighting with My Family as 3rd.
That's what you just said. I said, are you sure you want to do that after it only did 9 million?
You've got me so confused.
Okay, Fighting with My Family came in 4th, but it did 8 million.
Right.
So if you want that as your 3rd, that's fine. I don't think
but you're saying top 3 overall.
Right.
That means
and the top,
every movie that's out there.
Well, within that weekend, yes. Like, for instance, How to Train Your Dragon was number 1 last week at 55 million. It's probably going to be number 1 again this weekend, although might not be because, Tyler Perry and Greta will be coming into that, so I might be wrong about that.
Okay, then let's do this. Let's do Medea is 1, How to Train Your Dragon is 2, and you don't have Greta on here yet.
Yeah, I have it. Oh, no, it'll be on this weekend. Greta opens this weekend.
I know.
So you want Greta for 3?
Yeah, why not?
A lot of these movies are tanking this time of year. I mean, that's why I don't want to go crazy with it because, we only have those 2 opening, and last week's movies didn't do great. The How to Train Your Dragon was pretty good. But, if you remember, the last couple of weeks they've been doing 8 to 10 million for the new releases, which is horrible.
Yeah.
So, I just wanted to make sure you got a fair shake
See,
on
this is why you got this all mixed up, because you knew it would mess me up big time.
it. Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about it messing me up. I guess I can cut these all out because they're not going to do that well next week. Okay, delete those rolls. So there we go. All right. That's what we got for the movie reviews. All right, now we can rock and roll into other things. That thing you sent me on Steve Corino was awesome.
I know, I
Steve
loved it.
Corino is no longer the NXT coach,
Nope.
which I really was surprised that he took that job. But you know, there's only a couple jobs in this industry, so when they offer it to you, you should take it. Well, he's now going to be a SmackDown Live and Raw producer, which is awesome for him.
And to think, we know him, he's been on the show, I love it.
Oh, to answer Nate, by the way, the Medea stuff is entertaining, I think, but you got to take it for what it is. It's just dumb humor, and if you take it with it being dumb humor, and you like dumb humor, you'll like it. And he plays a lot of over-the-top characters. He usually plays 5-6 roles in the movie. Have you seen any of them?
Yeah.
Okay. Which one did you see? The
I
Halloween?
don't remember. Yeah, I think it was the Halloween one, but I don't remember.
I like them because they're so stupid that they're just stupid little funny movies. So anyway, back to Corino. I'm really happy he got that opportunity because he's been in the business forever, and you know it's good to see him get opportunities like this. I would have loved to have seen him get in the WWE ring, but for some reason he didn't want to do that.
Well, it looks like he's in a ring there.
Yeah, but he's teaching.
Oh, well, still, at least he's in a ring.
Yeah, that's more than I am. So, anyway, we have some updates coming in the coming weeks for the Farm Show building
Yes.
thing. Mm-hmm. They actually sent me a couple updates. It's really interesting. You know, I really think about things like when I was in the 90s, I remember going to a wrestling event in the Farm Show building, and I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. In the Farm Show building, it was a section area of the Farm Show that was for the wrestling. But the thing I found interesting was that at that point I didn't know what an independent was.
Right.
I went into there just going to see wrestling, and it was really kind of cool watching the basically ECW came up and did some shows, a bunch of the people from ECW. But then I started familiarizing myself with independents, and then Rob Noxious started going to school and all that stuff, and just kind of all came together. But one of the guys I was fascinated by in the 90s was Steve Corino, and I was fascinated by him because he was under the tutelage of Dusty Rhodes.
Okay.
And I thought that was kind of cool. And so I really was fascinated also because he had an AOL account. And
now you really have to be good.
I don't have to be good because I know that I'm good, and I wouldn't say anything to disrespect anyone. Anyway, so back then, you know, I didn't understand the independents because I knew there were territories, but Vince had crushed all the territories, and then they just fell into little circuit things where you had like ECW here, and you had, you know, Memphis, and you had, you know, a bunch of small guys, but very few of them knew how to run a territory, and everybody was trying to like remember or find out how to run an independent promotion because everybody had territories, so they didn't have to worry about it as much. But now, you know, all the territories are gone, and everybody's trying to rebuild, and, you know, everybody's in a hurry to do something different. And that's where, you know, I saw Corino he was in the ECW, and I read things about him, and it was funny, he had an AOL account too. And when I got his AOL name, long before I was in the business, I was harassing him because told him I just really liked what he was doing. And back then I used to get this sheet, Wrestling Observer, so I knew what was going on behind the scenes and stuff like that. And I loved knowing that. And
So you liked knowing the ending before it actually happened?
I didn't know the ending, but they covered more than that. They covered a lot of the independent people, and so you got to find out where's Bam Bam Bigelow. Oh, he's in Japan. Nice. You got, where's Andre the Giant? Well, somewhere around there he's dead, but I forget where year he died. But I mean, it was cool to see where all the independents or all the guys other than WWE and NWA. You could find them. And back then, NWA was, WCW was still NWA WCW, where the WCW was smaller than the NWA. It grew to be, little by little, if you watch their logos, it grew to be just the NWA, WCW, then NWA, WCW, NWA, WCW, and then it was like no NWA. It was just WCW. If you watched the logos and stuff, you'd see that. It was kind of funny how they went from being just this independent in the NWA, and NWA did everything they could to drag Ted Turner into this because they wanted it to succeed. And just little by little, the NWA thing became unimportant to them, and WCW became everything because they actually ran the NWA for years and years, but eventually they just said, you know what, you can keep your belts, we'll create our own. I'm Ted Turner, I can do what I want,
right.
But that was I digress now. Back to Steve Corino. Congratulations on your new job, and hope you do well with it. I mean, he's got to be in his mid-40s now, so he's not going to probably get another chance to do something like this. So I'm real happy for him, though. Haven't talked to him in a long time. Anyway, so Rami Malek, you know who he is, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, he was treated by the paramedics at the Oscars because he fell. That's what we got here. We got the... why didn't you turn? You're supposed to turn. There we go. So Rami Malek, Best Actor winner, treated by paramedics after a fall at the Oscars. Wonder if you can get workman's comp.
No.
Why not? You're working.
You're just making a public appearance to pick up your
yeah.
award. I mean,
those awards are dangerous.
I heard they're awful heavy.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because he ended up needing a paramedic, so paramedics were forced to check on Rami Malek, the best actor. Let's get rid of that. For his role in Bohemian Rhapsody, after he fell shortly after taking the award. So it must have been something to do with the award then.
Threw him off balance.
So it was kind of funny.
So let me ask you this. And I'm not sure. Okay. If you knew who he was, let's say you were, right there, you were one of the ones treating him, and you knew who he was, would you mark out for him?
For Rami?
Yeah.
Rami? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. What does Rob mean not wrestling?
I asked him if he was going to be on that show at the Farm Show building.
Not wrestling.
But he's being honored.
Being honored. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Maybe that's what they're doing.
It could be.
I don't know. I'm talking to those guys, so it's hard to say. But anyway, all right, so there we go. He had his little excitement because he ended up falling and almost killing himself. Well, maybe not killing himself. Anyway, do you ever watch those Fixer Upper shows?
All the time.
Do you watch the one with Chip and Joanna?
No.
Do you know who they are?
Yes.
Okay, they did something really cool. They bought a run-down 100-year-old castle that they're renovating. And I think that's pretty darn cool. It'd be kind of fun to have that. So as soon as this commercial's over...
You need to pick stories without commercials.
Yeah, I'd like to. All right, here we go. All right, here it is. Access Hollywood. Chip and Joanna Gaines bought a rundown 100-year-old castle. That's a fixer-upper. Chip and Joanne purchased the historic Cottonwood Castle in Waco, Texas. The couple has long admired the property and made previous attempts to buy it. I'd love to have a castle. 6,700 square foot stone building took 23 years to build.
Wow.
Starting in 1890 and has remained empty for the past 20 years. Why wouldn't somebody sell it? Oh, that listing price is $425,000. For a castle, though the final sale has not been disclosed. I would love to have something like that. Confirmed that the Magnolia has purchased the historic Cottonland Castle. Magnolia spokesperson John Marscano told the Waco Tribute, for nearly 2 decades, Chip and Joanna have admired the property as a hallmark of the Castle Heights neighborhood. I'll tell you what, it looks pretty fun. If you get the right person in there fixing things up, that would really be kind of cool. But you got to know what you're doing. I mean, to make a place look like special like that. But I like the rooms. The rooms are kind of like cool because they'd be like for a band. You can set a band up in a neat little corner and play. Previous owners signed a contract to renovate the property, but obviously didn't. But the $600,000 to $1 million cost was beyond the owner's budget. It's unknown whether the Chip and Joanna will restore the castle. To live with their 5 kids, including an 8-month-old baby crew, or they'll flip the property. I would imagine they'll flip it. I mean, people like that don't keep anything. They see the investment, yeah, and you can't make any money if you hold on to it. So, yeah, I don't know. It'd be kind of cool. I wish I had that kind of capability of being able to fix up stuff. So, they don't have a lot of local guys on the show. I see. But they're honoring, if you read out, they're honoring a bunch of indie feds. ACW, UWE, CCW, Stellar, Valor. Yeah. We know quite a few of them. Yeah. Well, maybe it'll be great seeing some old friends again, Maybe that's what they're going to do with me. I couldn't figure out what they're going to do with me. I don't know. So, I don't know. I think it's kind of cool, but it would be more cool if they let the older guys work the show, because if you're doing a tribute of... When I first started talking to them, that's what I said, that you wanted to work it. Yeah. But like you, it's, incorporate that. Honor them and then... Right. Yeah. But who knows? All right, so that's the Joanna and Chip thing. Thought that was kind of cool. Oh boy, our buddy Tammy is in trouble again. Who? Tammy. Uh-oh. Sonny. WWE legend Tammy Cinch jailed after 6 DWI arrests. 6 times she's done that. You would think she would learn. Because I thought after the last one she said she wasn't going to do it anymore. Okay. I suppose you believe everything they say, right? If it's on the internet, it must be true. It must be. I'm really sad for her. She was the hottest thing at one point. And it makes me sad to see that she just can't get it together. I'm surprised she hasn't died yet. If you remember what she looked like when she was hot. I mean, granted, she's 46 now versus 18 or whatever she was then. So, I mean, there's certainly got to be a certain amount of things that... But she just, she's falling apart. Look at her. She really don't look too bad considering she can't get it together, but I know. I just feel real bad for her because we know her and all that stuff. And a lot of it could be the outfits. Like, there she's just in very casual clothing. She's an alkie. Wow. 6 times DWI. They're not going to be as nice as they've been with her. I would imagine they're going to throw the book at her this time. I'm thinking that too. Plus, the money that she's made from, she's being in wrestling. Nothing. No? She's got nothing. They just have... really, Chris was starting to go on the upswing, but they didn't have anything put aside, and I'm saddened by that whole thing. So, Black Panther becomes the first Marvel Studios Oscar winner.
Yay!
So somebody actually won an Oscar from Marvel. So I think it's awesome. They definitely made a lot of noise last year. So Black Panther made history Sunday, becoming the first Marvel Studios film to ever win an Oscar. So that's an awesome thing, and I love that. So we can feel that they've done their part. So anyway, that's Black Panther. All right, what's going on? Why can't I change this? Come on. Where's the, oh, here we go. Is that the one? It's not. All right, screw you. Anyway. Then...
Are you having computer issues again?
I am having some kind of anxiety. All right. Jerry Seinfeld is in the news.
Uh-oh.
He's suing a classic car dealer. Says, I was hoodwinked over $1 million Porsche.
Oh, boy.
You shouldn't have had $1 million Porsche. You should have bought a couple Teslas. Jerry Seinfeld is going after a classic car dealer that sold him what they claimed was a rare Porsche because he thinks the car's certification wasn't legit, according to the lawsuit. In the suit, it says Jerry bought what he thought was a 1958 Porsche 356 1500 GSGT Carrera Speedstar for $1.2 million in 2013. That's a lot of money for a car. Mm-hmm. People laughed and said, I spent a lot of money on my car. That's a lot of money on a car.
Well, just remember that when they say, oh, you spent a lot of money on your car. Say, yeah, but I'm not Jerry Seinfeld.
Jerry spent a lot more money than I did. He spent 10 times what I spent. So, anyway, so we got this certification from this dealer saying this is a rare car, and he ended up selling the car for $1.54 million, and the winning bidder, FICO Frio Limited, challenged the car's authenticity and sued the comedian for hawking a bogus Porsche. So this is the car they auctioned off, I guess. So Jerry wants European Collectibles to pay up in his lawsuit because he relied on European Collectibles certification when he bought the vintage car and had no clue it might be bogus until he got sued. So here's Jerry just liking cars, and he bought it saying, hey, this was certified, and this is, but it turns out that the certification wasn't legit. So now Jerry's suing the car dealer that he bought it from. So it's kind of funny. Yeah, I think it's. I started watching Counting
Cars.
Counting Cars, yeah, and I love that. I mean, I started watching it before a couple years ago, and I forgot how much I like that show because they keep buying these cars. He'll be driving down the street and he'll see a car he really likes, and he'll speed up to the guy, and then he'll offer him like $20,000 for his car. So I can't imagine having that kind of money, but that's his business. So anyway, so that's the end of the entertainment section. Didn't have as much entertainment news. We can go back to this stuff if we have time, but it's not a big deal. R.I.P. So we had a couple people die this week.
Were any of them on the death pool?
No. We had 2 people die this week. I'll start with
ladies first.
All right, you want lady? You know who she is?
Uh-huh.
All right. Well, I didn't know you knew.
I sent it to you.
This one?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know.
Yes.
I thought I found it.
No. Check your Facebook.
Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
Open the pod bay doors.
Oh, Hal,
somebody open them. Skip. Marilyn died. Her name was Beverly Owens. She was 81. You know, I always will remember her as that little young, cute girl who was older than me, but she'll always be forever in my mind, that 18-year-old girl. She was hot, too.
And they always called her the ugly duckling of the family.
Of course, because she didn't conform to the way things are. So, yeah, it was interesting because you don't hear about these guys now, and they're all in their 80s, 90s, whatever. So, says here, best known for her one season stint as a beautiful Marilyn on the 60s. Hold on. Play it again. Oh, rockabilly version. We don't need more than one version. Anyway, yeah, she was, I guess, only on one season of The Munsters. Her death was confirmed by her former castmate Butch Patrick, who played the wolfish boy Eddie Munster on the 64 to 66 series. Beautiful Beverly Owen has left us. Patrick posted on the Facebook yesterday. What a sweet soul. I had the biggest crush on her. R.I.P. Bev, and thanks for your 13 memorial Marilyn Munster episodes. So, yeah, 81. That's just, you know, what'd you open up?
I was looking to see if I could tell whether, like, from the cast of the Munsters, if they're, like, who's dead and who's still alive.
Ooh.
Okay, so...
Probably from the Munsters, if you go to the Munsters.
Let's see. Okay. Fred Gwynn is dead.
Yep.
Okay, so let's go back.
Now, does it show them over on the right? Oh, that's it. Show me a lesson. Okay.
Okay. Yvonne DiCarlo is... She died.
So, who did she play?
Lily.
Wow. I never saw her without her makeup on. Which reminds me, the Count also fixed,
Okay.
what's that girl that dressed up, what's her name? Cassandra's her real name. What's her name, people? Elvira.
Oh, okay.
She showed up on Counting Cars and had her car redone. Oh, it was beautiful.
Okay, so Grandpa, he's gone.
Yeah, for a long time.
Mm-hmm. And we know Beverly Owen is gone. Let's see, Pat Priest. Oh, she's still going. So there's one that's still going.
I don't even know who she is.
She was the one that replaced Beverly Owen as Marilyn.
Oh.
Okay, let's see, Butch Patrick. He's still going.
Oh, yeah,
so
that just said he was. Of course.
And the Raven. Oh, okay. He's gone. And I believe... Yep, both people that played the Raven, they're both gone. So there's two that are still...
So the people that are still alive are... But is the son,
yes.
Butch Patrick,
Mm-hmm.
and who?
The last Marilyn Munson.
Okay. All right. Well, I wonder if they get the cars and the stuff because they're the only ones left. Get the Raven, speaking of the Raven. All right, anyway, so that's that. Then, yeah, so she's gone. Also, sadly, but can't say that I'm super, hold on here. Can't say that I'm really lost at this and surprised or anything because the other guy, oh, I missed that one too. Yeah, okay, so we have, let's see, where's it at? Which one did you tell me? Okay. So the guy, Mark Hollis, has died. And you probably don't know who he is.
No.
But Hold on here. Mark Hollis reportedly dead at 64. He was the singer of the lead singer and co-founder of Talk Talk.
Oh.
So I didn't know him by that name. I knew him by Talk Talk because that was a pretty pop name in the 80s. So
did they do a version that was never released to the song Money Money? Or Money Money?
No.
Oh.
Not that I know of, but they're known for Talk Talk.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Talk Talk and Money Money, and I thought maybe there were some other ones.
Gonna torture you. Some of Talk Talk is... wait a minute, I'm going to...
You know you're going to get in trouble for this, right?
I always get in trouble for it. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter anymore. All right, let's see. Trying to find... Talk. Okay, let me in. And here we stand, waiting for my thing to come through. Alright, here's some of the songs that Talk Talk was responsible for. This isn't the way I wanted to do this. I don't want to do it this way. This isn't really what I'm trying to do. Okay, let's see if I can find... I don't want to do it this way. Did they stop me from doing this? They may have. No, that's not. That's the same song we were looking at before. Okay. Trying to find their first album. Because there were a couple songs that I knew, but these aren't the songs that are coming up.
Ooh, we just got a tweet.
From who?
Your favorite girlfriend in Florida?
Danny.
Uh-huh.
What'd she say?
She put hashtag Trash Talking Radio, hashtag TTRS with two of my favorite people, Mike Trash and Trash's Maid.
Well, that's very nice of her. Okay, this isn't going to work. I knew I should have done more than this. Because I don't know the names of their songs that were freaking popular. I don't like doing it this way because this doesn't do it the way I want to do it. I don't want to see the albums. I want to see the singles. So, let's see. Let's do it this way. We'll do it this way. All right, let's see if this one works. It was very synthy. A lot of that stuff was, though. A lot of that new music was very synthy. And giraffes. I like giraffes.
If I could find my reason,
so that was one of their songs. I'm trying to find... Here's one of their songs that was pretty popular.
If you shop on Amazon, you should use
No,
Buy.
I shouldn't. because I can cut your voice off like that, just like that. Because I'm mean, just like that. Skip ad. Now let's do it. This is another big song of theirs. I think this might have been their bigger song. Had that 80s synth thing going on there. Do you remember this band? You do? Okay. I was pretty sure you were going to say you didn't know who they were. So that was the one guy that died. They had a couple songs, and I don't remember what was the... I know those two that I just played were their big ones I know of. The other big one that died is very sad. We lost Peter Tork.
Wow.
77. He looks the same almost as when he was a kid. But lovable member of the pop band The Monkees died Thursday after a decade-long battle with tongue cancer. Peter's sister reportedly confirmed the musician's death, but not reveal where he passed or the cause. The Monkees singer was diagnosed in 2009 with a rare cancer, adenoid cystic carcinoma.
I'm glad you can say that.
You know, it's from my background in medical. Anyway.
Yeah, okay. We're not going to go there. We know better.
This is a classic picture. Now, if you think about this, half the band is gone now, and only two are left.
Top half or bottom half?
This half.
Oh, left half and right half.
Yeah. And actually, I went to see the one member of this band last summer, and it was last fall, and I really liked him. He did a lot of country-ish stuff and stuff like that, but yeah, I kind of like that. But he's much older now. He's in his 70s now, and I want to think of him like these guys here. They're never aging, but the bottom line is, you know, everybody's got to age. Anyway, all right, so that's that. So he died, and let's see if this works with the Monkees at least. Did it do it right? Yeah, here we go. Here's some of the Monkee music. There's that keyboard sound. And actually, they really had taken music that was out there, but it turned it into something big. They sold more albums than many bands ever will, and kind of strange to think about it, but they created a music style. I remember I used to sing these songs, used to sing them in my room and stuff, and I thought they were the coolest thing. And I think about that now, and think about after hearing the stories and all that, you know, they weren't allowed to do their own thing. They had to do these songs by other people, and just kind of weird to think about back what it would be like if I was a musician and told that the only way I can be a musician is if I sing their songs, because your songs aren't good enough. And then you find out that, you know, they all members of that band wanted to be relevant. And kind of funny when you think about they all made money doing this, even though the band, I mean, they really only were together a couple of years. And then, of course, there's...
What number is this, Chip?
7A.
Okay, no, I mean, don't get excited, man. It's because I'm short, I know.
Wasn't this the song played on the Brady Bunch?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, I could hide neath the wings of the bluebird as she sings.
Not anymore. And this is really a lot like 70s music had become, or late 60s music had become. And it's, so you're looking at a band that was trend-setting. Who would have thought?
I'm not your stepping stone. You're trying to make your
Anyway,
mark in society.
just kind of reminiscing on
all the tricks that
them
you
being
used
dead
on
now.
me. You're reading all them high-fashion magazines. The clothes you're wearing, girl, are causing public scenes. I said, I'm not your stepping stone.
When you think about it, they outlived a lot of bands, even with their limited run. So, and actually, if I'm not mistaken, Jimi Hendrix opened for these guys, which is really strange to think about, but he did. So he was the opener. So it's really strange to think about that. Anyway, all right. So that we got that done, and then all right, done with that. Entertainment, done with that. Crimes. This is strange.
Okay.
Tennessee shooter dead. Officer serious condition after welfare check turns deadly. So, Tennessee officer in serious condition and suspect the shooter is dead after a gunfire erupted during a welfare check on Saturday. Sullivan County deputies were dispatched for a welfare check requested for 44-year-old Jackie Scott Pendergrass. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation said in a statement. So they sent somebody out to see if he was okay, and once they were at Pendergrass's residence, officials say he opened fire, getting off at least one shot. So TBI said deputies retreated and attempted to communicate with the suspect, but he opened fire again. Officers returned fire, but the deputy, Steve Hinkle, was stuck in between the exchange. He was taken to the hospital where officials say he's in serious condition. As the standoff continued, Pendergrass barricaded himself in his home. So I wonder what happened that sent him over the edge, that, he felt he had to shoot at officers. So it's really strange to think about that this guy was okay. Then people say, hey, you might want to check on him because something's wrong. And then not only is something wrong, something's really wrong. So anyway, so let's see. They found this. Okay, so the suspect is deceased. And I think the cop was, what did it say? Police officers in serious condition. So, all because they were doing a welfare check. Who would have thought, chances are if they hadn't done a welfare check, they'd both be alive now. Not that that was wrong. I mean, they must have thought something was wrong. But it's sad that this person is dead now. Suspect in killing of 4 hostages in Mississippi has died.
Ugh.
Hey, I like that.
It's not Florida.
That's not spending on these guys if they're going to kill themselves.
Yeah.
Suspect in fatal hostage incident has died. It says here, Clinton, Mississippi, a man who killed 4 people during a hostage situation inside a Mississippi home has died at a hospital. Department spokesman Captain John Poulos said the suspect was shot during a 12-hour standoff in Clinton. Standoff started around 2:30 a.m. when officers were checking on a domestic call, and they were fired on. So that's another place that I wouldn't want to be a freaking cop for anything, man. They got to be ready to be shot at any given time. So, let's see what this video is. See if it's a big commercial or something good. Ford Raptor. Well, that's got to be something really cool. Okay, let's get through this commercial. Come on, you can do it. All right, see what this commercial is. Okay, play it.
Yellow caution tape lined this home where 4 people were shot and killed during a domestic hostage situation Saturday. Residents say they still can't believe this happened in the small town. Blown out windows and debris cover the front of this home where chaos erupted Saturday. One resident says hearing gunfire and bombs go off is an experience she wishes she could forget.
I'm just stunned. It looks like a tornado came through here and hit just one house.
White and her family have lived in this area for decades, and she's never seen a tragedy like this unfold.
They tried to get the resident to come out. It sounded like they did everything they could, to try to get him to come out of the home.
People claiming to be the family members of the suspect and victims gathered around the home Sunday morning in sorrow that their loved ones are gone. They didn't want to speak on camera, but told me they're heartbroken and can't believe this happened. Residents like White say now is the time for people in the community to come together and speak up when something's not right.
Just, know your neighbors, try to know who your neighbors are and friend them, and if you suspect something, notify the authorities or
Did she say
family
and friend
members.
them?
In Clinton, Linnea Lewis.
If you don't know your neighbors and friend them?
Oh, jeez.
I thought that's what she said. Anyway, so that's really sad. So they, there we go. Suspecting killing of 4 hostages. That just sucks. Anyway, next, this is the crimes portion of the show. I tried to put them together. Why won't it let me do that? I'm trying to. Okay. Push this one out then. All right, here's another one. Lots of people dying. Well, lots of people shooting. Gunmen sought after shooting, wounding Virginia police officers. So, here we go again. It says here, authorities are hunting Sunday for a gunman who shot and wounded a Virginia police officer on a traffic stop. That's got to be the worst, because you're not, as a police officer, you're really vulnerable and you're putting yourself out there. And I wouldn't trust people for nothing, because I know people would want to kill me if I was well, people want to kill me now, but people would really want to kill me if I was giving them some kind of ticket for something. So, unless it's a secret policeman's ball, then that's a whole other thing. But, fortunately, I haven't had any of those for a while. Anyway, so...
I had one just the other day that was something like... I think it was a policeman's ball, and I was just like, no thanks.
I was kidding.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I know, but they actually still do it.
Authorities are hunting Sunday for a gunman who shot and wounded a Virginia police officer. Donquell Maurice Gray, 25, is being sought for the following shooting in Bluefield at 11:45 p.m. Gray is considered armed and dangerous. A Bluefield, I don't know that I would... That seems like a place for real officers. They're always wearing their
Men in
Bluefield. Blue. Not Men in Blue, that's Men in Black.
No, officers are called Men in Blue.
Oh. Okay, well, these were definitely Men in Blue. You would have to call them that. A police officer who was not identified was conducting a traffic stop and pulled over a blue 2008 Yaris. Oh, I'd want to shoot somebody if someone saw me driving one of them, too. Gray was sitting in the front passenger seat when he allegedly opened fire. The Bluefield, Virginia Virginia officer and a second Bluefield, Virginia officer had responded to assist the traffic stop, returned fire. The Toyota's driver got out of the vehicle and surrendered. Yeah, but it's too late. He already shot the guy. Yeah. I don't know. This world's crazy.
Of course.
I that's one thing that never ceases to amaze me, that there are so many people doing bad things. There's never a shortage for, stories and stuff. I was saying my knee didn't hurt too bad. I think it's making a liar out of me now. All right. Where were we? All right. I don't know. Did we do this one last week?
Which one?
Passengers set running when someone yells gun at an airport.
Yeah.
We did that one?
I'm pretty sure we did.
Yeah, I thought so. For some reason, I didn't delete it. All right, let's get that out of here. Here's a local story. A man who attempted to rob Camp Hill Bank was blocked by secure doors.
Wow.
Men who attempted to rob Camp Hill Bank were blocked by secure doors. That's kind of funny. Police said 2 men attempted to rob a bank on Market Street Friday, but they were thwarted by secure doors. Well, so did they do it on an off? Was it an off hour? Or was it? Or they just not?
Well, what does the article say?
Well, I don't know. Let's see what it says, because it kind of seems like it looks like it's maybe it's a Sunday or something. But I mean,
or maybe it had just closed for the day.
Yeah, maybe. All right. It says here, Camp Hill Borough Police are investigating a Friday robbery attempt at a local bank. It says here, 2 men tried to gain entry but were blocked by secured doors. I'm not sure I know, because it looks like they're not able to get into the place.
So just closed for the day.
According to the police, 2 men attempted to rob People's Bank. The 2 men, dressed in black and wearing black masks and gloves, attempted to enter the bank. One of the men was carrying what looked to be a pistol.
Oh.
I would not go into a bank ever with a gun. That's just stupid. People were unable to get inside the building because they were blocked by the bank secured doors. The men fled the scene before entering a older gold-colored SUV. So I guess it must have been locked, I'm thinking, because why else would they
Closing
not?
time.
Yeah. Or maybe it just wasn't open. Yeah.
Well, a lot of banks are open on Fridays, but they close, I don't want to say early, but they might close, let's say 5 o'clock to give people a chance, if you work an early shift to stop at the bank on your way home, get ready for the weekend. And they probably thought that would be the perfect time, go in a few minutes before the bank closes, and they could get all this money. Well,
yeah.
They were wrong.
All right. Suspects arrested after TV station guard shot.
Oh.
There's a bad job that nobody probably thinks about is they're going to grow up to be just like that person. I would imagine that would be not going to happen. Anyway, suspects arrested after TV station guard shot. The reporters robbed in Oakland. Police recover some of the loss taken outside of East Oakland Library. Police said that the two suspects in connection with Sunday afternoon robbery of a television station's photographer and shooting of a security guard outside a library. In a statement, Oakland police officer Jonna Watson, I think it's Jonna, said a 3-person crew from the local television station was working on a story when the vehicle pulled up and 2 suspects got out and robbed the crew's cameraman. Well, it sucks to be him. Of all the people they could have robbed, they probably robbed the person that makes the least money there. And according to police, one of the suspects shot the crew's security guard in the upper leg, and the guard then returned fire. The suspects fled in the vehicle. So the question is, did anybody get hurt besides the one guard?
I hope not.
The guard was taken to an area hospital and treated for non-threatening injuries. He was later released. I'm looking. Oh, at 5:15, a man apparently showed up at a local hospital suffering from gunshot wounds. So he might be connected to the incident. So, I don't know. I remember when my brother and I, we were guards at the farm show building.
Oh.
One summer. Or, no, it was winter. I hated that job. It was so cold. Oh, it was horrible. And I did not like that job at all. But, yeah, it was kind of strange to... I wouldn't want to do that. Not again. One time was enough for me. It's too cold. So, all right, anyway. Here's a strange question, or strange story.
Okay.
Although they almost all are strange in one way or another. New Jersey mansion fire. Man accused of killing brother's family was allegedly losing his salary.
Oh.
So the office manager for the brother's business told investigators she'd been instructed to stop sending money to the suspect's wife.
Oh, brother.
So something's going on here. Something,
Family affair.
Some kind of family affair, some kind of situation. A New Jersey man accused of killing his brother, sister-in-law, niece, and nephew and setting their mansion ablaze was on the verge of losing his salary from a business he ran with his brother. So, because his brother, I guess, well, I'm assuming that they were going to close the business because they were afraid of losing salary from the business. So it seems like that would be the situation. Paul Canero is charged with 4 counts of murder in the deaths of Keith Canero, 50, his wife, Jennifer Canero, 45, and their 2 children, Jesse, 11, and Sophia, 8, were found dead on November 20th at their home in a wealthy community in Colts Neck, New Jersey. Didn't know there were any wealthy communities in New Jersey.
Surprise, surprise. Maybe it just became wealthy.
Yeah. He was indicted by a grand jury on 16 counts, including 4 counts of first-degree murder, felony murder, arson, weapon charges, theft, misappropriation of entrusted property, hindering of his own apprehension. He pleaded not guilty. Canero's attorneys, in a statement Monday, said that they were reviewing the indictment and a plan to go through with the evidence to identify any issues that may relate to the case. The wife of the third brother told investigators that her husband received an email from Keith on November 19th saying that the money was missing in accounts of the 2 businesses he ran with Paul, a tech company called Square One and a pest control business. Those 2 go together really well. You got an electronics company and you got a pest business. So the email said Keith was going to stop paying Paul. The wife of the third brother, identified as only CC, added that Keith had been frustrated with the amount of money that Paul spent from the business accounts and wanted to sell one of the businesses. The brother's office manager told investigators she was instructed to stop sending money to Paul's wife. The wife had been receiving Paul's salary because Paul was technically on disability. So it gets deeper.
Ooh.
So they couldn't give him the money because he was on Social Security. Prosecutors have said that Paul shot Keith outside his home before the stabbing. Jesse and Sophia, and shooting and stabbing Jennifer inside the home. He then set the house on fire before returning to his own home. That's just so weird to think about. I mean, there are times that I would really dislike my family. I never wanted to kill them.
That's just awful. I mean, and looking at that, it's like, ugh.
It was a big house.
Why couldn't they just live on separate sides of the house and be done with it?
I think the problem was the guy was mad because they were cutting him off.
Yeah.
I don't think he lived there. right. Really sad to see a place like that go up in smoke. But I guess it happens. Not around here. 'Cause we live
I'm always afraid that when I go home that my house would have been up in smoke.
Yeah. Well, speaking of which,
My house is up in smoke?
officer let couple smoke and make out in the police cruiser.
Oh, jeez.
I like that cop. That's a forward-thinking cop. You know? I don't know. I just think it's funny. And I even think it's funnier that the guy didn't bother to cover up the incident, you know? Because, you know, you have to think that it's going to be seen by somebody.
Gee whiz.
Let's see here. We're going to see if we can play it and see what comes up.
And get caught up with breaking news.
Get caught up with breaking news.
Safety and family. Plus, South Florida's certified most
Well,
accurate forecast.
another Florida.
Watch
It's Fort Pierce, Florida.
News at 5.
Here we go.
Yeah, they won't let you smoke in this Sally Port. You're really not, but it's fine.
Wow.
Yeah.
But he gets in trouble anyway because you guys got him in trouble. They're still showing like
They probably bribed the cop.
he sounded like a nice cop and just was trying to be, you know, helpful. So they're setting up. They're actually going to smoke in his car. This is 2018 when this right here. That's really weird that any cop would do that. Even if you're a nice guy, you don't.
Maybe he was doing it so that he could say, look, they were actually doing drugs. I caught them doing them in my car. He has the videotape to prove it.
I don't know. I would think that I would want to keep my job, you know. And he's got to know that that video's gone. The video's, you know, running all the time in the car.
Well, he is, but I'm saying he did it to set the two people that were going to commit the smoking, you know, do the smoking and stuff. He probably thought, okay, they're real high, they're not going to realize what's going on, so I'm just going to say, sure, okay, I'll let you make out in my car, and I'll let you smoke in my car, and then videotape the whole thing, and then go to court and say, look, we have proof that they were actually smoking. You know?
Man died after officer signs form refusing treatment.
Oh.
South Carolina man who died in August from injuries suffered in a car crash 4 days earlier was delayed in getting medical treatment because the officer signed the form for him saying he refused help. That'd be like if I signed a form for you saying she refuses and you never even knew it was refused. In the past 3 days, Ohio, the state law enforcement division started an investigation into actions of Charleston police and Charleston County authorities. They've been investigating paramedics who dealt with Nathaniel Rhodes after the crash. Attorneys for Rhodes showed a Charleston County video from jail Monday of paramedics joking as Rhodes moaned, sounded like he was smuggling or struggling to breathe, and slipped in and out of consciousness. Doctors would later find a severe cut to the liver that would be causing internal bleeding and 8 broken ribs.
Ouch.
Rhodes, 58, was charged with driving under the influence after running a red light and crashing into another car in Charleston on August 12th. According to the incident report, the officer who responded to the wreck found Rhodes in an ambulance after finding an open bottle of wine in between the seats and asked him to get off the stretcher. The officer started doing sobriety tests. Now, this is after he wrecks his car. He's making him do sobriety tests that Rhodes failed. The form refusing treatment from paramedics at the scene was signed by an officer who appears to indicate a badge number and CPD beside the signature. The jailhouse video shows Rhodes sitting slumped in a chair after he briefly loses consciousness. The paramedics are called, and as they ask Rhodes to stand up and take a few steps to the stretcher, an officer comes up and asks him to sign a form agreeing to either a breath or blood test for his alcohol level. Rhodes seems out of it and struggles even to follow the paramedics' commands, but the incident report said he refuses to sign. A man is slowly dying, and they're more worried about trumping up a case. Rhodes, see, this is the thing. This guy was an alcoholic.
Right.
He caused the accident, and you know what's going to end up happening is they're going to end up paying his family.
Oh yeah.
Because he screwed up.
Well, it's ironic because the last 2 hours that I worked today, I was in a safety training, and they were talking about different situations. Now, this one wasn't brought up, but they were saying that there was one in, I believe it was the UK, where a little boy ended up being castrated because they were supposed to remove the one testicle because of some sort of, I think, some sort of, I don't know if it was like cancer or something. And here they removed the wrong one.
Oh.
And then they ended up removing the other one afterwards, and it was just like, ugh. You know, that's where they say you have to verify your information and all this. And I'm sitting there going, how? You know, but mistakes happen, even in healthcare.
I'll tell you what, have the kid contact me. I'll donate one of mine. I got two. They're not being used. Oh, that's sick.
It is big time.
This you'll get a kick out of this. 3 charged with trafficking food benefits at Harrisburg stores.
I read that.
This is so weird. 3 people were charged, and you know, I gotta think that somebody out there has gotta have scruples somewhere, and I guess I might be wrong about that because it happened, but here it is. 3 men are charged with with trafficking in the benefits people receive under the state's food assistance program. So basically,
they say they don't make enough.
Right.
They meet the income guidelines, but they were taking this money that was put on this card to help feed them and their family, and buying it to purchase, buying it to supply their store.
So it says 3 people were charged with trafficking in the benefits people receive under the state's food assistance program. Oh wow, what kind of name? Milciades.
I just called him
Mendoza,
person A, person B, and person C.
Jimenez, 43, and his wife. Oh, that was a guy, and his wife, Mary Lenny Acosta, conspired to buy electronic benefits cards from recipients at either discounted cash value or in exchange for store credit. The couple then took the cards to a wholesale club and used the full value to buy bulk inventory for their Harrisburg mini market. Jeez.
Well, the person that they bought the cards from, they should get in trouble too, because...
Sure, I would think.
You're not supposed to sell those cards.
I know. It's crazy. It says here from January 2015 to April 2018, they trafficked 88 different EBT cards for a total value of $24,000. Wow. So in 3 years, they only did $24,000. That's not bad. That's $8,000 a year.
I'd love to know how they got caught.
Good question. See if it says.
It doesn't.
It says here that the couple was charged with felony counts of fraudulent traffic in food order conspiracy. The third defendant, 31-year-old Romana Acosta of Camp Hill, is charged with fraudulent traffic in food orders. The Inspector General's office said she illegally used 9 EBT cards to buy supplies for a different... What happened here? For a different store during the same period. The stores where officials' alleged tracking took place was in Harrisburg, actually, two in Harrisburg. So, I don't know. There's just no honest people left in this world. I see that and I think, wow. I mean, that's pretty extravagant.
Yeah. I couldn't believe that when I read it.
Yeah. It's kind of sad. But people will do anything to, get an advantage. So, let's see here. Where is... There we go. Wait, where's Trish? There's Trish. Okay.
I'm right here. Oh.
This reminded me, after I got this, of something you had sent me. Burglar arrested for mistaking a police car for a getaway lift.
Yeah, they were talking about this on the radio, and I heard it.
That's unbelievable.
You know, they called for a lift car, and apparently the lift car was not quite as close as the police car, because the police car pulled up, had to have been an unmarked one.
I would think.
And they thought it was a Lyft car, and they thought it was the ride that Lyft said they're here, and whoops. That's why Lyft always tells you, Lyft and Uber both. You know, and they tell us as drivers, verify your passengers, know who you're picking up, or at least what they look like, assuming they provide pictures, but confirm that that's who you are to pick up. Because you never know what can happen.
A man attempting to burglar a New Jersey home fled when he woke the victims, but he didn't make it that far before accidentally getting into a police car instead of a Lyft. Lyft apparently is the new way to get around with, even if you're not doing legal things.
Did I tell you I have a light now? Yeah. I have to find a way to make it work. To mount it, but I have a light for Lyft. I'll show you.
Okay. Because I have no idea what you're talking about.
I'll show you.
Does it say Lyft on it?
Yeah, and it blinks. It is like that.
Huh.
And I have to figure out how to get it to work. It works, it lights up. I just don't know how to mount it.
All right. Anyway. All right, so the man was attempting to burglar a New Jersey home. He fled in, he woke the victims, but he didn't make it far before getting in the Lyft or the police car. The sound of 28-year-old Nicholas Marziot trying to open a door woke the New Jersey couple around 10 p.m. The couple soon discovered is it Maslot? Maslot. Or Maziot. I think it's Maziot, a homeless man who had climbed into their home through a second-story window. The intruder then climbed back out of the window and jumped from the roof to the ground. After several officers responded, Maziot requested a ride with the Lyft app. That's going to be really embarrassing to get caught.
Oh, I know.
You're not even smart enough to do that. It's just sick. I don't know. I don't think I'd have the guts to break into somebody's house to steal something. I can't even imagine what would be going through somebody's mind. So, I don't know. Then we got Payless.
Not pay more.
Going to be paying less,
Pay
even
none.
less. So another one's going away. Payless Shoe Source to enter bankruptcy. Close all the U.S. stores.
That means there'll be another spot in the East Mall opened up.
Yeah, I'm saddened because once again, one of our stores from when we were kids
Yeah.
are going away
I remember
because
that's where I'd go to get my sneakers because they would be like $5, $10.
yeah. Well, apparently we didn't pay enough.
Well, I've seen people play the favorite trick where, you know how, like, if their shoes are in a box and if they're on sale, they put a lower price on the tag and they staple it to the box? Well, I've seen it where people have switched boxes with shoes. You know, they have all these shoes laying out that they look like they're trying to shop and they try all these shoes on. Then they take that box with the lower price, put the shoes that they want in that box, and they get it for the lower price. I've seen it happen at Payless. I've seen it happen at Walmart.
Okay. All right.
But now they're getting a little bit better because Walmart, at least, when it scans, the cashiers have to make sure that what comes up when it's scanned is what the item actually is.
Okay. All right. What's going on here? Trying to close this one window and it won't let me. All right. Anyway, Payless, it says here, they've been unsuccessful in finding a buyer and expect to liquidate this month. Quoting unnamed sources familiar with the move, Payless would file bankruptcy again and close all its 2,300 U.S. stores. I didn't realize they had that many stores.
Oh, yeah.
Payless has several stores in central Pennsylvania, including those at Harrisburg, Colonial Park, York Galleria, and Capital City Malls. They filed for bankruptcy in 2017. They closed 400 stores. It started as a single store in Topeka, Kansas, and now it's owned by its creditors. That's really amazing to think about that many stores for the Payless thing. I never realized they had that many stores.
Oh, yeah.
So I bought a couple things there, but they weren't really on my... I kind of remember going to, like, Kmart to get shoes as a kid and stuff. So...
Yeah, I went to GB's when they were around. I also would go to Payless. There for a while, Payless was like my go-to place because they had a lot more of a selection. Now it's like, just go to Walmart, but I have to be careful because of the inserts that I have, like in my sneakers now. They can't go in just any pair of shoes.
Okay.
It has to be like a certain... Like the sneakers that I wear now are men's sneakers. I couldn't put these orthotics in ladies' shoes because of the way they're cut.
Okay. That's
Oh, trust me, you learn a lot.
information about shoes for 20, Alex. All right. This will not let me get a smaller picture of this. Why is that? Why can't I pick this up? Won't let me grab this. All right, anyway. Go bowling at an undersea aquarium with sea turtles and stingrays.
I think that is so cool. I want to try it.
Yeah.
Only I think that's in Connecticut, isn't it?
Oh.
I think that's where I read it's up in Connecticut.
It says here, let's see if it says where it's at. Looking for some sweet indoor activity for kids. A great non-traditional U.S. Our kids' bowling opportunity is right up your nose. I mean, under your nose.
We should submit that story to the guys at Tanked, because they do all sorts of things with fish. So.
Well, it's in Connecticut, Bridgeport. So it's a restaurant, bar, and 12-lane bowling alley located in Bridgeport, Connecticut.
When we go to see Nietzsche, we can do that.
It says you can bowl Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. at $25 per lane.
We only need one lane. We could go and have fun. You, Nietzsche, and me.
I'm not bowling. Forget that.
Ah, come on, you wuss.
No, my back hurts too bad.
Ah.
I go for the building itself, though, because that looks
Well,
like...
get the little kitty bumpers so you don't have to bend over.
I think this is part of the place. It looks kind of neat. And, I mean, the place looks like it's pretty cool for a themed... Balls come out of the mouth of the shark and the alligator.
I think it just looks awesome. That would be so cool.
Yeah. I'm surprised nothing around here is like that.
It probably costs too much to do.
Yeah. What's cost? Anyway. Got that. This is I could see you having this happen to you.
Uh-oh.
Couple mortified as their dog rips open a neighbor's parcel.
Wait a minute. No!
And finds a sex doll.
Why could you see that happening to me? First of all, I don't have a dog.
I know.
I've adopted yours when he's here.
What do you mean when he's here? He's always here.
Yeah, but I don't see him now. And a sex toy, I don't have any of them.
Well, maybe you ought to get one. Maybe you need to get a dog and a sex toy.
The only kind of dog I want is a stuffed dog.
Well, he eats a lot. It's probably stuffed.
And I already have one of those, and he just sits there at night and just watches me sleep with his sunglasses
It's kind
on.
of creepy. Anyway. So anyway, the couple, the couple's mortified after their dog rips open the neighbor's parcel and finds a sex toy. Does your postman ever saddle you with parcels from your neighbors when they're out? Leaves you burning with curiosity as to what they could have. That would be the funniest. It would be mortifying, though. I would tell you, I would be mortified if my dog ripped open the box.
Just don't teach Buddy to do that, and we'll be fine.
It says, imagine going downstairs to find that one such parcel has been ripped to shreds by your dog, and what popped out of it was a big pink dildo. That would be funny.
Well, got a bit of dilemma here. I don't know how to get myself out of it. This is quite a big one. Well, anyway, so doing that Amazon go to your house, and if you're not in, they'll go to your next door neighbour. And your next door neighbour then, I've been on nights, I've actually just come downstairs now. You know, the thing is, this is a bad one, this. The parcel, we've been given someone else's parcel, but my Labrador, Bonnie,
oops,
has ripped it open, and the parcel is a dildo. No. What have you got there, Bonnie?
He just probably thought it was a bone or something else.
The parcel there. I'm not going to give you the address, but...
Maybe he wants to play fetch.
How do you even explain that? What do you say to him? Bonnie, what have you got? So she's... Oh, Bonnie, you've well dropped your knee now. I'm even going to get... Okay, how do you explain this? Oh, yeah, sorry, I've opened your parcel. Let's open your parcel.
I would be so embarrassed.
I can just imagine.
You put yourself, look at your little face.
Oops.
Look at your...
And the dog was like, did I do something wrong?
Like a pink banana. So yeah, I'm proper now in discreet. Bojangles, you've had something to do with that. I don't know what, but... And that's that.
That dog is funny because he doesn't know he did anything wrong.
No.
So...
He's looking for praise that he did something right.
I think it's funny. I give him something special for that.
What, the vibrating remote control
I don't
that
know.
goes with it?
I don't know. I just think it's funny enough that I would do that. So, were you a Golden Girls fan?
Always.
Were you?
Mm-hmm.
I never watched any other shows.
Ah, you missed it.
Thank you for being a fan. Golden Girls themed cruise set to sail in 2020.
That would be cool. We should go.
Oh, please.
What?
Not that washed up. I haven't died yet. Golden Girls have been given the biggest gift, and they'll have to get it on board next winter to see the a card attached.
They probably went on the Love Boat.
I don't know about that. Says, picture this, a special Caribbean cruise celebrating the iconic sitcom that has just been confirmed for next winter, and it includes a cheesecake party.
Oh, nice.
The Golden Girls at Sea experience set sail out of Miami, Florida, where main characters Rose, Blanche, Dorothy, and Sophia lived. On February 24th, 2020, with stopovers at Key West and Cozumel, Mexico. If I ever do one of those celebrity cruises, I would do the Joker, Impractical Joker.
That would be cool.
That one I could have fun with, but I wouldn't. I never even saw this show, and I have no interest in it.
Oh, you would love Sophia and her
No.
her sense of humor.
Nope, I wouldn't.
How do
Pretty
you know
sure.
if you've never seen it?
I'm pretty sure. I know me. I don't even know who Sophia is, but
The mother, the
I'd
oldest
rather-
of the four.
I'd rather not. So,
Blanche was the sex pot.
I don't even care. I don't want to know.
Now, wait a minute.
That makes me sick just you telling me that.
Blanche was the sex pot. Dorothy was the school teacher. Rose Nyland was the nitwit. And then Sophia was the old retired. Had a lot of wisdom, but her stories were all, picture this, Sicily, 1947, and she would tell some crazy story, but it would relate to whatever the situation was that they were going through at the time.
I'm gonna pass. Just let it be known. Impractical Jokers, maybe. Golden Girls, never.
Okay, so Impractical Jokers is, I would say,
Or Chris Jericho's got
the
one
younger
too.
male version of the Golden Girls.
I don't think that would ever happen. Wouldn't ever happen in my lifetime. Okay, so that's all the Trish news. And now we move on to the.
Well, I think I'm going to split out of here because I've been awake since like 3 o'clock this
Oh,
morning.
wow.
Mister,
Wow.
I can sleep till whenever.
I know, it's great. Gotta tell you, it's great.
My day will come soon. I mean, later or sometime.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you might. Are you Methodist? Considered Methodist, or what are you?
Yeah.
Oh, good. You like this? Don't leave yet.
Okay.
This will be the last story for you. This is my mother was Methodist, and there was a really nice Methodist church in Hummelstown, and that's where she went, and that's where I wasn't allowed to go.
Why?
Mom didn't want to take me. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I get my revenge now, though. United Methodist Church General Conference on Same-Sex Marriage, LGBT Clergy, and What You Need to Know. The Book of Discipline does not allow same-sex marriages, LGBT clergy members. So in St. Louis, the United Methodists from around the world gathered for a special session. And let's see. For a special session of the church's General Conference. On the agenda were diverse issues as to whether to change rules of the church to allow same-sex marriage or LGBT clergy. The conflict is threatening to split the church, which is the second largest Protestant denomination in America. After delegates approved a conservative plan reaffirming the church's current positions and rejected a more progressive proposal, uncertainty and emotions are running with the denomination. Here's what you should know. Okay, So the General Conference typically meets every 4 years, but this was a specialty meeting, caused to focus on human sexuality and finding a way for a church to maintain unity. The votes. United Methodists face uncertainty after delegates reject plan allowing same-sex marriage and LGBT clergy. The debate. Why debates over same-sex marriage? LGBT clergy are threatening to divide the United Methodist Church. And so basically, they're imploding. Because you got a lot of people now that have had their eyes open to it not being an evil thing, and people that are holding on to that as a religious thing. But then they're also the same thing. United Methodist has had a black eye recently over problems within the church, similar to the Catholic one, where they found people not necessarily doing the right things. So anyway, we got a big problem with the Methodist churches going forward. Anyway, so hey, they're all going to have to go through that at some point. All the religions and all that are going to have to face what is out there and determine how they're going to react to it.
And everybody has their own beliefs, and they can believe what they want.
Not according to some people.
But don't force your religion on others.
I can only tell you that I was told I was going to go to hell because I was a rock musician.
Oh, boy.
And that was before, that's back when I was like...
that was back when country wasn't cool? You were country when country wasn't cool?
No, I was
Except
never...
in your case,
I was never country, ever.
But I'm saying in your case, you were rock when rock wasn't cool. There's a song by Barbara Mandrell that it's called Country When Country Wasn't Cool.
I see. So it's current. It's a current.
No.
Country's not...
80s.
Country's not cool. Pilot dies. Family avoids disaster as plane crashes into home in Florida. So, yeah, that's going to be a not so good thing to have. You're flying your plane and you end up running into somebody's house.
No thanks.
Uh-oh. Now I gotta figure out why I don't have sound. Oh, that's why.
Straight through the roof and into one of the bedrooms inside of his home.
Let me back this up here.
Time now for our index on two deadly plane crashes happening within minutes of each other. In Mansfield, Massachusetts, a single-engine Cessna crashing on the tarmac, catching fire, killing both people on board. And in Central Florida, a twin-engine seaplane.
I'd hate to be sitting there eating my ravioli and watching my big screen and boom, this big old plane comes flying through your living room.
Incredibly, she survived and her family was able to get out. One of the pilots, though, was killed. We're also following that major highway inferno outside of Salt Lake City.
Yeah, that's gonna suck big time to have that happen when you're trying to relax after a long day and thinking everything's just this is my night to sit and veg and turn out it's not your night. You've got to deal with the airplane in your living room. And anyway, all right, let's see here. Next we got, let's see. All right, this is kind of odd. So this guy, somebody won the Mega Millions, but nobody has claimed the Mega Millions yet. So the question is, who won the Mega Millions and why haven't they claimed it? So they won $1.5 billion. I just can't imagine being able to keep that quiet if I won. I would have a hard time to. And think about what you could do with $1.5 billion. You could pretty much buy anything and everything. Even the millionaires today have not had a $1.5 billion jackpot. You know, that's a lot of money. You can't. I guess you can spend it all in your lifetime if you're really stupid about it. But, I mean, that would be the closest thing that I could think of to being independent and doing whatever you wanted for the rest of your life. So, I don't know. Anyway, this this mystery, just nearly everyone in this small South Carolina town has a theory on the city's billion-dollar mystery. Who won the $1.5 billion Mega Millions jackpot last October? So it's been a while since either the person that won it didn't know they won it, or I don't know. Who knows what the other reason would be. Maybe the winner was so overwhelmed upon seeing the winning numbers that he or she died on the spot. Well, that could happen. I think it's more likely they just didn't think they were going to win and didn't really look at the numbers that closely. I mean, that's happened to me, unfortunately. So, anyway, I don't know. Maybe that winning ticket fell out of the car visor. That could happen. Maybe it's buried at the Twin Chimneys landfill, or maybe the winner's going on with life as before and quietly taking the $878 million lump sum. That's what they should do anyway. They should always take the lump sum, because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know who's going to be around you in a year, in 2 years, in 10 years. You don't even know if you're going to be alive in 30 years. I think that they said they pay out on it. So I personally would take the money and run. So the winning ticket was sold at KC Mart in Simpsonville sometime between October 20th and the drawing at 11 p.m. on the 23rd. Store employee G. Patel said the agents were waiting in the parking lot when workers came to open at 6 a.m. the next day. We didn't even know we sold the winner yet, adding that agents immediately took surveillance tapes away. We haven't seen them. I don't know when we sold it or who we sold it to. So, oh boy. Well, I know I didn't win because I haven't been in any of the Carolinas for a long time. So, we know it's not me, but could it be you? So, yeah, kind of funny. Let's see here. Then, oops, what happened here? So this guy lost his dog, and they're searching for a missing dog. They use a drone to find the missing dog, and somebody shoots the drone out of the sky. I think that's really rude, unless they were hiding something else. But, yeah, that's... those drones can be pretty expensive, and the thing is, if you don't buy a real expensive one, you can't really do anything with it anyway, because they have a short amount of battery life to spend on stuff. So I got a drone thinking I would be playing with it all the time, and then I saw the time that it would be like 4 minutes or 5 minutes in the air or something like that. And I thought, well, okay, maybe drones aren't so cool, because they make all their money off of people buying the product, but people that aren't educated are going to buy a $50 or $75 drone and not really going to get their money's worth. So anyway, this is the article on the drone threats.
Against this rising threat. Here now to weigh in is former CIA station chief and Fox News contributor Daniel Hoffman. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Really appreciate it. Saw you on late last night as well.
Yeah, it's good to be back so soon.
We appreciate it. I want to bring this up. This is what the FBI Director Christopher Wray had to say. He said that terrorist groups could easily export their battlefield experiences to use these weaponized unmanned aircraft systems outside of the conflict zone. drones will be used to facilitate an attack in the United States, such as a mass gathering. But what I really wanted to get to, which we didn't have there, is he said that they will be using these given their retail availability, their lack of verified identification requirements to procure, and their general ease of use. So you expect that he is correct in all this, that
You know, I really do think that is a possibility. And actually, I could see drones being used at like an event like the New Year's Eve event, where everybody's out and you could just fly, say, off of a rooftop. You could control your drone and have it attack people. That would be a pretty smart way to definitely be terroristic with them.
Is the reason these will be used more frequently?
Yeah, I mean, first, you know, we've been detecting terrorists' use of drones in Iraq, for example, in Ramadi, in Mosul. Originally, the drones were designed for surveillance purposes so that they could take video of suicide car bomb attacks and then post them on the internet. But, you know, Hezbollah is using them in Aleppo. And then just this past summer, terrorists used drones, they call them DBIEDs, drone-borne improvised explosive devices, to target Venezuelan President Maduro when he was giving a speech. So there's no question that the technology has migrated out of the war zones, along with the people who have left those petri dishes growing threats to the rest of the world, and have become available for use. And it is a challenge. I think tactically, the way that we get at it is to disrupt the energy in the drone so that you disrupt the link to the drone's GPS navigation device. But at the end of the day, it's about the people using the drones. We've got to penetrate the networks. You know, in cyberspace, it's the skin behind.
And how do we do that, though? Like, how do we do that? Because we have, even here in the United States already, back in 2012, this individual in Massachusetts who was sentenced to, what, 12 years for, or 17 years, I should say, for attempting to attack the Pentagon and the Capitol using these jet-powered model planes.
That was a prototype case, and I will tell you, I'm from Massachusetts. I'm familiar with the case. That was outstanding state, local law enforcement work, getting out into the networks and determining that this individual was a threat. He thought he was selling that technology to Al-Qaeda when, in fact, it was FBI undercover agents. That's how you do it. It's old-fashioned, you know, sleuthy detective work, coupled with our intelligence community collecting the intelligence on which we rely. But this is another arrow in their quiver. And we just need to make sure that we don't make any mistakes. You know, right now we're seeing ourselves tracking these threats left of boom, and it's a growing threat we need to be very much aware of. I would just highlight for folks, this is why we say, you know, see something, say something.
And that being said, let's move to this, because that's what happened with this New York man who was arrested for planning Election Day suicide bombing. How did this become a reality in America? A 200-pound explosive. They spent all day Wednesday, you know, disarming it and removing it from his home, from his basement.
We've seen that the terrorists posting on the internet simple instructions for how to build very powerful bombs, explosive devices, with commercially available ingredients. And so you might see terrorists.
Anyway, this story is about a drone is being used to help search for a missing dog. It ended up being shot out of the sky by a man in New York's Long Island on Saturday. The police department said in a news release that the 26-year-old Gerald Chastain is facing charges of third-degree criminal mischief and prohibited use of a weapon after firing at the drone in his yard. The incident took place from around 4:45 p.m., and members of Missing Angels Long Island, an organization that searches for missing pets, were using a Mavic 2 Zoom drone to search for the dog. The volunteer members lost contact with the drone, which retails for over $1,300, and GPS placed it above Chastain's home, and so according to police, that's the reason he was, you know, investigators determined the 26-year-old fired 3 shotgun shells into the air that struck the drone. So that'll teach you. Although I thought that they had, if the drone was over your property, I thought that we could do something about it. I don't know, because I never really had that problem, and I don't really care if anybody has a drone over my property. But kind of strange. I can't remember if that was the case or not. But anyway, 200-foot cliff crashes down on a woman walking a dog on a California beach. According to this, waiting for the thing to stop turning. It says rescue workers and search dogs continue searching Saturday for a woman missing after a cliff crashed down on her and a friend Friday as they walked a dog on a beach. That sounds like a horrible way to die, especially since a beach is meant for calming people and making people feel comfortable with things. And usually you see things like someone dying on the beach is not very calming. But, hey. Anyway, here we go. Hopefully. They're looking for, the dog's looking for the missing woman and the missing dog. That must have been a horrible thing to have all that stuff coming down on them. That says incoming waves forced two women walking a dog Friday at San Francisco's beach partway up to a 200 sandstone cliff. The part of the cliff that collapsed at 2:30, burying the dog walkers and sweeping them onto the beach below Fort Funson, an old military base. Ocean waves come in a bluff and undermine it. Unfortunately, we consider this a tragic natural event. So, really sad that they couldn't avoid dying from that. So, all right. Okay. All right, we had last week the Powerball results, numbers for 12/23. Did anyone win the $304 million jackpot last Saturday? It says here it was worth $304 million with a cash option of $184.8 million. See, I'd be happy with just $100 million. You could easily retire and have a good life with that. People retiring on $1 million nowadays. So the Powerball drawing was held on Saturday, and according to Powerball's website, the multi-million-dollar jackpot, no one was able to win on Saturday night's jackpot. The next Powerball drawing will be held Wednesday, so that'll be tomorrow. So the jackpot is now worth $322 million. With a cash option of 196.1. So, there you go. You need to get your Powerball. I haven't been playing as much as I used to. I used to play all the time. And I had some good numbers because I usually, every couple weeks, I would win some off of my numbers that I selected myself. And I did pretty good with that. Then they changed the stupid papers that you submit into the machine, and I had to change my numbers, and that's why I haven't had any recently, because I didn't change my numbers. Didn't want to sit down and figure it out. So 300 vehicles are on fire near an air show.
What's up, guys? Jared Getz here. We're here in Barcelona, Spain. I'm here with my girlfriend, Madeline.
I don't care. We'll skip your ad there. Here we go.
Nearly 300 vehicles have been destroyed in a big fire.
300 vehicles in a big fire. Check this out.
This afternoon, officials say that the cause of the fire could be a lit cigarette. That
And all it could be is just a lit cigarette that could have destroyed these people's lives.
Huge plumes of
Or their cars, anyway.
could be seen in the skies of
That had to be more than
Air
just
Base in
a
North
lit cigarette.
Now, about 100 aircrafts were parked at that aero show. However, in the afternoon, after a brief halt, the aero show did continue, but the fire spread rapidly due to the dry grass and strong winds, and hundreds of vehicles, at least 300 of them, including
All those big planes, too, didn't affect any of those.
Been completely gutted. The fire now has been brought under control, though.
All right. Got it under control now. Jeez. That's a lot of cars to get destroyed quickly. I think last thing I would want to do is see my car destroyed by a fire while I'm at a stupid air show. Anyway, so there we go. Then, okay. It says here, pilot killed 17-year-old girl pinned against a wall when the plane crashes in Florida. Is that a different one? I think that's a different one. Authorities say a flight instructor was killed when his small plane lost power and crashed into a Florida home. A second person on the plane survived. The plane pinned a 17-year-old girl against a wall. She had minor injuries. Authorities say a flight instructor was killed when his small plane engine lost power and crashed into a home. Wonder what caused that, if it was a gas problem that caused it to lose, you know. You're talking about James Wagner was in a twin engine with pilot in training, a 32-year-old Timothy Sheehy of Montana, when the plane crashed into a home near Winter Haven. It's not clear who was flying the plane. It says here the two had planned to conduct a simulated engine failure, but authorities don't know whether the crash happened during the training. That would suck if it was part of the training and they couldn't get the plane started again. So Polk County's officials say the 64-year-old pilot died in a crash. The plane landed near a bedroom, pitting a 17-year-old against the wall and leaving her with minor injuries. And he had minor injuries. But so the only one that I guess died out of the whole thing was the pilot. So, ooh, that's some nasty stuff there. Out there trying to teach someone how to fly and you end up killing yourself while you're trying to simulate these weird situations. So at least now the guy knows what it's like. So hopefully he'll be prepared for it. So, all right. Got that. All right, now the next one. Okay, there we go. Next one here. I got enough stuff to keep me busy here. Average tax refunds are down 8.4% as angry taxpayers went to vent on Twitter. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think my taxes aren't going to look so good this year. I didn't have any good write-offs, and I bought a lot of stuff, unfortunately. None of it qualified for write-offs. Pretty sure that my car doesn't qualify. So, I don't know. I'm waiting here to see what this says. Hopefully this is going to be watchable. Or not. It's still taking a while. Anyway, average tax refunds were down 8.4% for the first week of the tax season. The IRS has beginning to process the 2018 tax returns in the first year of filing after the massive tax overhaul. Businesses Insider reports returns are 8% smaller this year compared to the same week in 2018. Wall Street says neither economists, elected officials, nor civil servants know how returns will look this year. And no funding deal between GOP and Democrats is reached. The government could be shut down again on Friday. This could put American tax refunds at risk. So there you go. I gotta get my taxes done. I didn't do them yet. So I'm probably, well, what are we at the end of, we're at the end of February. I'll probably wait till last minute as usual. So the funny part is that this is going to be the next year is going to be the first year that I won't be working, that I'll be filing taxes. So, yeah, not looking forward to that either. Well, I got to figure out how to change that over. I guess with the tax software, it's pretty easy to do, but it's kind of strange. So, okay, that one was the... Okay. Okay, here's a thing where there was a police chase that ended in Long Island. Oops, now it says the video's been removed. I guess I can't tell you that one. That sucks, because that's what I want to talk about. Let's see if we can find this. Let's see here. Oh, we don't have anything from a newer video. Wonder if that was a joke and somebody, I had a video clip that says 3 dead after police chase ends in crash on Long Island, but yet it's not there. So did it happen or didn't it happen? That's the question. All right, police use stun gun. Oh, here we go. Use stun gun on man at traffic stop with his 2 young boys in the back seat. So, wonder why they had to use the stun gun. I would imagine
a troubling case out of Glendale, Arizona, caught on body cam.
Here we go.
Police confronting a man at a traffic stop. His 2 young children are in the back seat at the time. They then taser him more than 10 times. We want to warn you, what you're about to see is graphic. Here's ABC's Marcus Wall.
What did they do, though?
A violent encounter captured on police body cam. A passenger, Johnny Wheatcroft, is about to be tased, his attorneys say, 11 times.
Nobody has their ID on them? No.
The July 2017 incident now coming to light in a federal lawsuit. What began, police say, as a turn signal violation, quickly escalating.
What's your name? Why am I even at
Concerned he's hiding evidence, an officer lays hands on Wheatcroft.
Relax. I am! You now, stop!
Officers deploying their tasers struggle to cuff Wheatcroft, but look closely. He's still buckled into his seatbelt. This all taking place with his wife and young sons in the back seat.
Daddy! Yeah.
The struggle lasting several minutes.
That's unreal.
During the incident, Wheatcroft's wife hit an officer in the head. The lawsuit also claiming Wheatcroft was tased in the groin area. One officer appearing to taunt him as he's cuffed.
Keep fighting, you're gonna get it again! You want it again? Shut your mouth!
In the lawsuit, Wheatcroft claiming he was the victim of excessive force and wrongful arrest.
And Tom, Wheatcroft was charged with aggravated assault, and he spent months in jail, but his attorneys say those charges were later dropped. And the Glendale Police Department also suspended one officer for 3 days without pay over this incident, and he is reportedly still on the force. Tom.
Marcus Moore with that graphic encounter tonight.
That's unreal.
Hi, everyone. George.
I can't imagine, like, how they could get away with anything with cameras nowadays, because the cameras pretty much tell you everything. You can't hide when there's a camera involved. And I like that because you shouldn't have to hide. But sometimes I think that maybe people deserve what they get. So, I don't know. Stun guns are scary. And if they used it 11 times on that guy, that guy is one tough guy. So, I don't know. That seems really hard to believe that the guy was tased that many times. And if he would have listened, it may not have happened. I don't know. I know not what I say. So, all right, let's see what we got now. All right. All right, got that. Talked about that. This is sick. Here we have, is it working here? Do it again. Here we go. As if it's not bad enough, this California driver charged with a felony DUI after striking 9 pedestrians on a busy sidewalk. Hundreds of people were outside bars and restaurants as it neared closing time. So, 22-year-old, where are we at here? Okay. Now, why didn't I have sound? I should have had sound. Here we go. 22-year-old California man has been charged with felony DUI, allegedly mowed down 9 pedestrians early Sunday morning. Christopher Solis of Anaheim allegedly drove a truck onto the sidewalk and hit pedestrians before crashing into a tree. 10 people ranging age 18 to 49 were transported to local trauma centers with injuries ranging from moderate to critical injuries. Solis is suspected of driving under the influence of drugs and was charged with felony DUI causing great bodily injury. So there you go. Shows that guy... See, that's the whole thing.
What is this?
I don't understand why people have to... There's no reason in the world to get a DUI nowadays, with the Uber situation and stuff like that. There's just no reason anybody should get a DUI. It's so much cheaper just to call somebody and have them drive you around from place to place than have to deal with that. My cousin was doing the DUI thing when I was a kid. And he ended up killing himself because eventually, it catches up to you. And I just felt really bad because he had so many DUIs, and it was so young in the time frame of DUIs that I hated to see my cousin killing himself like that. And I always hoped that he would break out of that phase that he was in. But he did break out of the phase, but he didn't break out of the phase. He killed himself. And I really am sad by that, by the fact that he couldn't see beyond what he was going through at that particular time. And I think it would have been awesome to see him still alive today, but just wasn't going to happen. So people really continue doing their life the way that they feel is right, and it sucks. It sucks big time. So anyway, we have a story here about, it says, state approach to marijuana must evolve. Little by little, all the states are being smart enough to realize the positive things you can get with medical marijuana. And it says here, as Pennsylvania chief's fiscal watchdog. It's my job to point out when public policy does not make any sense for taxpayers. I'll tell you what, my insurance doesn't pay for medical marijuana stuff. Somebody's paying or getting my money. And I would think that the state would be who's making my money. And kind of frustrates me because I can buy opioids for $8. But if I want to be opioid free, I'm going to pay a lot more money for a medical marijuana product. And it kind of sucks because it shouldn't be that way. Because opioids are worse for you than any medical marijuana. So it says here the city of Lancaster is among a number of growing communities nationwide in adopting a smarter approach by reducing penalties for possession of small amounts of marijuana. While that's not the same as legalization, it's a recognition that existing laws are not working as intended. The evolution is underway. To date, 10 states and the District of Columbia have legalized marijuana for adults. Our neighboring states, Delaware, New York, New Jersey, are working in that direction. And Governor Wolf said it was time for Pennsylvania to take a serious look at the issue. And Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman is conducting a 67 county listening tour about recreational marijuana. In 2017, I became the first nationwide elected official to support regulating and taxing marijuana because we need it to adopt a smarter approach. Americans have started asking why they're paying billions of dollars in taxes each year to lock people up for offenses that involve small amounts of marijuana. People have come to understand that when the punishment fits the crime, our criminal justice cannot be more efficient and effective. Toward that end, I recently announced I would produce a special report on crime. This is by by Eugene Dispascale. I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So they're revamping all the laws because you could still, if you take the marijuana across the state lines, you could still get arrested for it. So it seems kind of crazy, but you can have it in your state. And I'm told that you have to carry your receipts and stuff, too, in case someone pulls you over and asks you questions as to the legality of stuff. So, I don't know. If it gets people off opioids and makes people feel better, I'm all for it. So, I know I'm scared about the opioids being bad for you, and as long as I've been taking them, thinking it would probably be awesome to get off of them, but we'll see what happens. So this 6-year-old girl is dying of cancer, and they're fulfilling the dream of becoming a police officer for this girl. Abigail Arias is a girl who had a big dream to become a police officer, and on Thursday that dream came true when she was officially sworn in as an honorary officer in Freeport, Texas. The 6-year-old has Will's tumor, a type of kidney cancer in children. The chemo and radiation hasn't worked, and basically the family's leaving it in God's hands and praying for a miracle. The Freeport police said, well, that's what they said. Basically, it's time to enjoy some life. Her mother, Eileen Arias, told the TV show. Extremely tough. We cried for a few weeks. So, that's really sad. Sad to think that this little girl has cancer. And hopefully they'll find something to combat it, but I guess they're thinking it's not going to do anything. So that's cool that they, she can always feel good about being an honorary police officer. So, all right. Here's another story out of Florida. Florida woman arrested in 1986, murder of son, 3, who was reported missing. Says Florida woman was arrested last month for the murder of her 3-year-old son, Nevada, more than 3 decades after she reported him missing and insisted the child's biological father was involved in the disappearance. Amy Fleming was arrested on January 29th for the 1986 murder of her son, Francilian Pierre. The Palm Post Beach reported. Jail records show Fleming had extradited to Nevada on Sunday and is expected to appear in court Monday. It's unclear what information investigators have uncovered that led to Fleming's arrest. North Las Vegas police officer Eric Levitt told that police had pieced several things together while investigating the case in the past few months. Police are expected to hold a news conference Monday, and we can't give out details until until it hits the courts. But what happened will become more clear in the news conference. So, I don't know, they must have found something pretty big if they are arresting for it, and especially being that old of a case. I would imagine that wouldn't be a normal situation for them. So, but it's sad. It's sad that the people would even think that, it's a shame that if she did kill him, that she killed him. But it's, I don't know. Hopefully they find out for sure. Hopefully DNA or something will get her in trouble. All right. Let's see here. Ah, yes. PA's first auto auction of the year is today. It's kind of cool. They do it a couple times a year. The state ends up getting these vehicles either through drug deals or through confiscation of the things, and then they turn around and they sell the vehicles. You could be selling, there's about 360 vehicles that are being sold today at Manheim, and here you go. It's a pretty big deal to those into the auction vehicles. I've thought about buying an auction vehicle a long time ago, but you never know what you get when you buy those vehicles. They could be all kinds of problems with
Open County. 360 vehicles will be at Manheim Keystone, Pennsylvania in Grantville. Along with cars and trucks, there are going to be motorcycles, RVs, boats, ATVs. Now, some of these were seized in criminal investigations. Others were used by state officials and agencies. There's always something for everybody.
Or if you have a landscaping company or a maintenance company, you need maybe one of the old PennDOT trucks with plows or lift beds or box trucks, school buses. You name it, the variety is here.
The state holds this auction 6 times a year. Buyers cannot use credit cards, just cash, checks, or money orders.
So there you go. I don't know. I think about doing something like that, but you just never know what you're going to get.
Pennsylvania's first auto auction.
You don't know, because it could be good, it could be bad, but there's no one you can go back on and say, hey, you sold me this crappy car. But I would think that most of them, you get what you pay for. Actually, should get better than you pay for. So, yeah. I used to love to go to auctions, so I used to love to go to auto auctions. So this guy was flying on a plane, and a Australian python made a 9,000-mile journey in a woman's shoe. I'll tell you, that would scare the living daylights out of me. I don't know not that I scare that easily, but to think that it's in your shoe of all places, you don't want to have it in your shoe. It's funny because, I mean, it's good that it wasn't a poisonous snake, but if it was, could you imagine putting your shoe on and being bit and killed by a stupid little snake staying in your shoe? It's like the Samuel L. Jackson sequel to Snakes on a Plane, as a Scottish woman has survived a real-life crisis of a snake on a plane, finding a python curled up in her shoe. Moria Basel was shocked to discover that a spotted python in her suitcase after traveling from Queensland to Glasgow on Thursday. The serpent has taken up residence in a shoe and even started shedding in the shoe during the lengthy journey. I'm assuming that she wasn't wearing the shoe, and I'm assuming that she had the shoe in her luggage, but what a weird thing. They should have x-rayed that package, and they should have seen something in there, I would think, but they weren't too concerned with whatever they found. The incident brings to mind the 2006 Snakes on a Plane, in which Samuel L. Jackson plays an FBI agent battling a crate load of serious deadly serpents. But rather than putting in the call to Oscar-nominated actor for help, Boxall rang the animal protection of the Scottish SPCA, who took the snake into quarantine. I responded to a call from a woman who had just returned from a holiday in Australia, and they found a small snake inside her shoe in her suitcase. Why didn't they see that, though? They should have seen that. I can't imagine why they wouldn't have seen that, because it was right, they see everything else with these stupid x-rays. So, whatever the reason, the thing got off with didn't have to pay any fees to travel across the world. But like I said, where would they have picked it up? That's the weird thing. Because at some point, it had to be crawling around in their room, I would think. All right, so there we go. Haven't every one of us in the world done this next thing? Florida man arrested for allegedly throwing a cookie at his girlfriend. So, if it's not the cookie that gets you, it's a spider web on your face. Anyone that has a face tattoo really kind of scares me to a certain degree. There's a guy that has no regard for what he looks like. So it wouldn't matter to him what I look like. He would just as soon destroy my face. A Florida man was arrested for domestic battery, and he reportedly threw a cookie at his girlfriend. Wade Smith was taken into custody Sunday after deputies at the Pasco County Sheriff's Office were called to the home he shares with his girlfriend. Smith's girlfriend reportedly told investigators that he threw a hard piece of cookie and hit her in the forehead. See, this is something I don't get. When I was younger, I got mad at people, and I remember one time I threw a box of chicken wings at Trish because she got me so frustrated at her. But nobody got called. No policeman got called. And nowadays, if your girlfriend slaps you in the face, you can have her taken away. Or if your wife slaps you in the face, you can have her taken away. I just think that everybody is too hard on everything. I mean, I really think that they threw a cookie at her and hit her in the forehead. That's really not, in my eyes, a reason to have someone arrested. It says here online records from the sheriff's office to indicate Smith was booked at the Pasco County Jail in Land O'Lakes on a $500 bond. What is that, $5 or $50 to get out or something? But just seems, for a cookie, we're talking about a cookie, even if he has tattoos on his face, I don't think he should be arrested if that's all he did. If he actually did touch her, then maybe that would be something I'd consider. But for a cookie, no. I've been known to throw a big box of wings, and I'm not proud of it because those were good wings. And I don't know. This is just weird that, you know, because some people will goat you into doing something like that just so they can get one on you. So this is an interesting idea. Did you ever think of not necessarily putting mom in a nursing home, but letting her live in a Holiday Inn? It's a lot cheaper, and this guy plans to prove that it's a lot cheaper because that's exactly what he's going to do. He decided that he wants to still, I mean, you got to be somewhat able to do that, able to take care of yourself. So you can't just move into this. But this guy says he plans to do that. He plans on taking care of himself yet. And so you don't need the $24,000 or whatever it is that it costs to have a nursing home. Actually, it says it's the cost of this nursing home he was on. Says he's spending his golden years at the Holiday Inn instead of the nursing home, and it'll save him money, according to WXIN. Terry Robinson said the math is pretty simple. The average nursing home costs $188 a day, while long-term with a senior discount at the Holiday Inn, $59.23 a night. That's pretty much 3 times, well, it's more than 3 times doing it at a nursing home when you're paying $59.23 a night. He said the hotel always has free breakfast, and some even offer a happy hour. His thrifty idea would save him $128 a day on meals, laundry, and tips. Noted that the staff cleans your room for you and offers complimentary toiletries. If something breaks in your room, the staff will fix it. The locations have security personnel at night and room service as well. They treat you like a customer, not a patient. See, this makes sense. This is something I would do. It takes months to get into decent nursing homes. Holiday Inn will take your reservation today. Robinson doesn't see a downside to the idea. If he wants to change scenery, he can stay at a Holiday Inn in another city. He said the staff will check on him to make sure he's all right. If not, they'll call for an ambulance or an undertaker. If you fall and break a hip, Medicare will pay for the hip. Holiday Inn will upgrade you to a suite for the rest of your life. What happens? What about visits from the family? That's not a problem either. He says he'll be glad to find you and probably check in for a few days mini vacation. And the grandkids can always use the pool. What else do you need? So, actually, you know, if you're in a situation where you don't have to have a lot of stuff, why not? I think that'd be easy to move into a place like that. That's $59.23 a day. Let's see here. Let's do some math here. Wait a minute. Let's get the calculator up. CALC. Calculator. Here we go. All right. So, okay. Where's my, there we are. Okay, so $59.23 times 30 days. So you're paying $1,777 a month versus, what was it, $188 times 30. So you're paying $1,777 versus $5,640 with no freedom, no enjoyment. So, yeah, that's kind of interesting. I No nursing home for us. We'll be checking into the Holiday Inn with the average cost of a nursing home costing $188 a day. There's a better way to get old, and it says here, I've checked on reservations at the Holiday Inn for a combined long-term stay discount and senior discount. It's $59.23 a day. Breakfast is included, and some have happy hours. I'd do that. If I didn't have a house and I wanted to be light as can be, I'd take my Tesla and I would go live in the Holiday Inns or something like that. That's a heck of a lot better than living in the freaking living in the nursing homes where no one cares if you live or die. At least these people care if you live or die, because you're living or dying on their turf. So, yeah, I definitely would do that. So, gonna have to keep that in my portfolio so that when I get old and feeble in the next year or two. Okay, I talked about medical marijuana in a few stories ago. I want to kind of talk about this. 3 legal marijuana states are banning CBD edibles, and here's why. New York, Maine, and Ohio are waging war on CBD-infused food and beverages. The legal industry had itself a 2018 to remember, having entered a year of still somewhat taboo industry. Legal cannabis ended a year as a legal business model that expects to be around for a long time. To the north, Canada became the first industrialized community in the world to legalize recreational marijuana. This will open the floodgates to billions of dollars of potential annual sales, and it validated that the weed industry might be worth an investment consideration. In the United States, we saw the U.S. Food and Drug Administration approve its very first cannabis-derived drugs in June. Saw a handful of new stores or new states given the green light to pot during the midterm elections, and observed President Trump's legalization of hemp and hemp-based cannabis, which is CBD, by December by signing the Farm Bill into law. The CBD is a non-psychoactive cannabinoid best known for legal benefits. I really would like to see more of this stuff and see where it goes. The only thing is insurance doesn't pay for it, so most people that need it really can't afford it. And most people that can afford it can also afford whatever they want. So I just, that's a weird thing about it, is that I think that the cannabis is definitely a better way to go because it doesn't destroy your body. So I don't know. Edibles come under fire in New York and select other states. Everything would seem to be going very well for the cannabis industry, especially manufacturers of CBD product. The following the passage of the Farm Bill, it would be presumably become easier for hemp-based products, CBD products, to find their way to retailers' shelves. That's one of the reasons Brightfield Group is calling for global CBD sales to soar by compounded annual rate of 147% in 2018 and 2022, eventually hitting $22 billion by 2022. That's just amazing amounts of money is what this is all about. So I don't know. I just think it's really interesting stuff. So I don't know. It says in New York, the Department of Health announced that it had begun a crackdown on establishments, restaurant and coffee shops that have been using CBD as a food additive. The crackdown has included the seizure of CBD products and warning of fines to come, which could include a total of $650 beginning in July for violations. So I don't know. They're really trying to they're saying this is okay, but this isn't okay. So I don't know what I think about that because, again, it's all new. So I guess the elections will eventually tell us. Anyway, all right. Hitting the button here. Transition. Why aren't you transitioning? Why don't you want to transition? There we go. Anyway, that's all there is today. I am going to let you go, and I'll be talking to you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.